It's Wellness Nerd Out time! How you guys doing? Happy Wellness Nerd Out time, you guys. And today we are going to be talking about something that a lot of people probably have questions about. I had one about it recently, and that is how to reduce muscle soreness after my strenuous workout that made me not be able to walk up and down stairs for a few days. All right, but before we get into that, I want to say happy birthday, Matthias Rivers. Happy birthday, El Mamone. I love you, brother. You are the absolute man, dude. This one, 100,000% is for you, my brother. And we're going to talk about him more at the end. But as for now, let's get into the meat and potatoes in our discussion for the day. And that is how to reduce muscle soreness following a strenuous workout. So when we think about muscle soreness, what do we think of? Because we got a couple types, so let's kind of decipher them first, right? And we're going to talk about one specifically today, and that's delayed onset muscle soreness. We'll get to that in a second, exactly what it means. But you know, we sometimes we get that tightness, that pain right after a workout that goes away relatively quickly, and that's not really the type of soreness most of us are concerned with, right? Most of us are concerned with that soreness, again, that comes from a heavy squat day that lasts for, you know, that we have the day after or days to follow, even a week sometimes if you went hard enough and you can't walk up and down the stairs, you can barely move, right? So what do we call that? We call that delayed onset muscle soreness, abbreviated as DOMS, D-O-M-S. So we'll refer to it as DOMS for the remainder of this video, all right? So when we talk about DOMS, well, what are a few causes that, you know, for this delayed onset muscle soreness, once again, that we get, right? Well, one is neutrophil accumulation. Another one is interstitial edema. Another, high levels of substance P or creatine kinase, and aseptic inflammation to round it off, all right? And you're all like, wait a minute, man. You didn't even mention lactic acid. When I think of sore muscles, I just think lactic acid. Well, actually, that is a myth that we're going to debunk right now. Lactic acid does not cause muscle soreness. Now, it does so happen, coincidentally, lactic acid builds up, when at the same time that you are sore, right? So we do get a buildup of lactic acid. That is true after a strenuous workout. But the purpose of this lactic acid buildup is to give us fuel for future workouts. And it's kind of your body's way of responding to these micro tears in our muscle fibers, saying, okay, we know what we're dealing with, and we might deal with it again here in the near future. So we're going to need an extra energy source, right? And that's lactic acid. And we also know that lactate is produced as a byproduct of glycolysis, right? When we're breaking down sugar for energy. And we're going to do that during anaerobic respiration, right? We're going to do that when we are doing high intensity exercise, right? It does not require oxygen, again, to break down glucose. That's why I say anaerobic, right? And it happens at the cytosol, not the mitochondria. Fun fact. So, when we say a few things that could help to reduce this muscle soreness, however we get it, right? And we just said how, but what's more important is what can I do for myself? How can I help myself with this? Well, one thing that has been shown to be effective in reducing DOMS is actually taking NSAIDs around the time of your workout, or non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, such as ibuprofen, aspirin, for example. But we don't need to take something synthetic, okay? Because the reason that they're helping is because they're reducing inflammation. So we know natural supplements that can reduce inflammation, right? There's a whole world of them. Curcumin being one, right? That's found in turmeric. And if you're going to take curcumin, you take it with what? Piperine, right? Found in black pepper to improve its bioavailability, making sure we absorb more of it, right? Because we don't absorb that much curcumin on its own. So curcumin is one. Fish oil is another one, right? Those DHA, the EPA, right? That we all know and love and take every day. I hope, at least. And on top of that, things like olive leaf extract. Now, with olive leaf, you're going to make sure that it's standardized to a minimum of 50% concentration of lauropene. Minimum 50% of lauropene. That's about top the table for quality in an olive leaf supplement that you can find. And it is a little more expensive, but it's worth it, right? More of the beneficial compounds, right? Makes sense. And when we talk about a couple more, well, you've got resveratrol, which is found in grape skin, or especially red grape skin, right? It's found in red grapes and green grapes, but more so in red grapes, right? And that's why they say that red wine's good for you. It's got resveratrol, you know. And on top of that, something like pterostilbene, which is a major potent antioxidant compound found in blueberries. So get your blueberries. God, I love you. Good to see you on here. So, on top of reducing inflammation, right, to help us with this delayed onset muscle soreness, well, actually pre-workout nutrition plays a major role. And this goes especially for people who are intermittent fasters like myself. All right? Now, we have said in the past here at Wend Wellness that if you've had sufficient amounts of protein and calories before your workout, and that's like 3 to 6 hours before generally. It differs based on different studies and opinions, right? But generally 3 to 6 hours before, if you've eaten, it's not necessary to get the protein right after to maximize muscle protein synthesis. As muscle protein synthesis actually is at a maximum 24 hours after your workout. And really the reason we want to have the protein before the workout is to prevent catabolism of the muscles, right? We don't want amino acid catabolism. We don't want it breaking down, right? And so it's a similar concept here with muscle soreness, right? As when we talk about muscle growth, as you know, as aforementioned. When we talk about things you should have before your workout, right before, to reduce your chances of becoming sore, well, you got BCAAs, about top the table here, our branched chain amino acids, leucine, isoleucine, and valine, and they should be taken in a 2-to-1-to-1 ratio in that order, right? Leucine being our big hitter that we want double of, as opposed to the isoleucine and valine, right? At least if it's a good BCAA supplement, okay? And if you're going to get the BCAAs through, say, whey protein or food beforehand, that's fine too. You don't need to take an isolated BCAA supplement to get the effects of, you know, reduce soreness later on, days after that strenuous workout. All right. So, on top of that, keeping mobility and light exercise, doing light exercise and activating those muscles to a degree that is not necessarily very strenuous, but just again keeping them mobile after doing that strenuous workout bodes well for decreasing your chances of getting DOMS, right? Delayed onset muscle soreness. We'll say it one more time, right? And one form of this, interestingly, now aside from just keeping mobile the muscles and joints that, you know, you're feeling sore in, analogous to, say, walking after a really hard leg day. Go for a walk, you know? Nothing real strenuous, but you're keeping mobility, right? You're better off doing that than just staying stationary and laying in bed, right? When we talk about this principle of maintaining motion and mobility in the joints, well, whole body vibration therapy has been shown recently in studies to reduce DOMS. And whole body vibration therapy is just when they send vibrations through your body, and what it does is it actually makes your muscles contract, relax, contract, relax, contract, relax, over and over and over and over and over really quick, you know, like a dozen times per second, something like that. This is the similar principle here to, you know, getting contractions and relaxation, just like when you'd be walking, contract, relax, contract, relax, contract, relax, right? Type thing to help reduce muscle soreness in the future. On top of that, athletic massage has been shown to reduce muscle soreness following a workout, and that's because athletic massage decreases the amount of neutrophils that will travel to the site of soreness. And we said that one of the causes of DOMS was neutrophil accumulation, right? So it makes sense, all right? So massage is good too. Now, what are a couple of things that we have thought would be good for reducing soreness, but actually don't have much scientific backing? Well, one is cryotherapy. And we think of the ice bath we got in after the game. And, although, athletes, they commonly rave about how much ice baths have helped them in reducing their soreness and recovering the next day. And cryotherapy is generally anti-inflammatory, so that's good for that reason, But in terms of the studies, the proof is in the pudding, and it shows that cryotherapy, or I should say they show majorly, cryotherapy will help with more severe muscle damage, such as a torn hamstring or muscle strains, things like that, but not as much in just reducing soreness, all right? So cryotherapy in terms of reducing soreness, as of now, with up-to-date research, is a myth, right? But there is a role to be played with cryotherapy, and it never hurts, to get some ice on you after a really strenuous workout or a tough game that you went through, right? Again, because we'll reduce inflammation, but we have to find that point in future studies between, severe muscle damage and soreness, where cryotherapy begins to have a beneficial effect on the muscles, all right? And especially in regards to reducing some soreness or something like that, and promoting recovery, all right? And the final myth we'll talk about is stretching. Actually, we always say, I'm sore, I'm going to stretch it out. Well, guess what, you guys? The research shows that stretching either before, which we never do anyway, and we'll talk about that in a second. That's like a big thing we always say here at Win Wellness. It's very true. Stretching before or after a workout will not reduce muscle soreness in the future. At least it's not supposed to, based on studies. All right, so I thought that was pretty interesting. And again, the proof's in the pudding. The results are the results. Now, we never stretch. We never static stretch before a workout. I'm doing chest. I'm gonna stretch. No, you do quick, rapid movements. You get loose. You're doing legs. You do leg swings. You don't. You do quick, athletic movements. Going from slow to faster and faster and faster. That's how you get warmed up. You don't static stretch before a workout. You don't stand there, touch the toes, and hold it, because it increases your risk for injury and decreases performance during a workout. So we never want to do that, right? Almost never say never, but in this case we're saying it because it's very true. So I want to say before we go, happy birthday, Matthias Rivers. Happy birthday, brother. You are the absolute man. I love you, dude. You're one of those people that, I met for the first time and we just clicked, man. We just clicked. I was like, this is my long lost brother right here, and I could have not seen you for years. I didn't, see you for years. And I saw you at DJ's wedding for the first time, and then your wedding, which I had a great time at. But I saw you at DJ's, and right away, man, we just picked up where we left off. It was like I saw you yesterday, dude. And I love you, man. And this one, 100,000% is for you. Matthias played rugby. He's an absolute beast. Matthias is a pie guy. Victory, brother. Always, you're a beast. And Matthias is a great doc, and there's a lot to learn from him. I'll try to learn as much as I can when I see you. If we're not having so much fun that I forget to pick your brain about it, which I think I might have, because we're always having a good time and just hanging out. But when I think of you, man, the first time I met you, so Matthias actually gave me my first adjustment ever, my first chiropractic adjustment ever, and it was in the cervicals, of course. The part where people are always scared to get touched because we see Hollywood movies where people's necks get broken, and that's just like a total myth. You'd have to try to hurt somebody, you know. I mean, and still you might not be successful. But I picture you. I laugh, man. I could see your face. I see your face. You're standing there behind the chair when Glenn took me to the pie house and I was visiting Palmer, and I see you just standing there with a cervical chair right here. And I walk in the pie house, I'm like, it's a frat house, man. They got like adjustment tables everywhere. Not really a frat guy myself, you know. I don't want to like pay for friends, you know. But this is kind of cool. You just like adjust each other all the time. Like, you just become better doctors, you know. I guess it's kind of what was going through my head, you know. It's like very interesting. And I see Matthias. He's like, you ever have an adjustment? Yeah, you will now, you know. Step right up. He sat me on the chair. I'm sitting down. And wow! And I was like, my first instinct was like, oh my God, what did you just, wow. I feel incredible. If you never had an adjustment before, you don't know what to expect. And you're like, oh my goodness, this is really crazy. I didn't even know my neck would move like that. But I felt so good, just improving all that blood flow, my nervous signaling coming from the CNS. I mean, you turn the lights on, man. I felt amazing, and I was sold. Right from there, I was sold on chiropractic. I had to, you know, obviously do my research before I would attend Palmer and make sure I really loved it, and I did. You know, it fit my lifestyle very well. But you know, you gave me the first adjustment I ever had, man, and it was a damn good one. I'll tell you that. And you know, again, this one's for you, brother. I love you. Say hi to Alyssa. Say what's up if she's not watching this. And have a great rest of your night. All right. I hope you had a great day today. I hope you didn't work too hard. All right. What do we got on here? We already said hi to you guys, and we got Carrie Heads. How you doing? Thanks for tuning in, girl. Appreciate it. I will see you guys tomorrow. Fantastic discussion. Another one down. And go get in what you gotta get in so you're not so sore after that next hard workout. I know you're gonna get in tomorrow because you love yourself and you always want to improve yourself. So you're gonna go ham in the gym tomorrow, right? Have a great night, guys. Thank you so much, and happy When Wellness. Good night.